The most advanced technologies on Earth today rely on a specific group of elements known as rare earths. You will find them inside the motors of civilian electric vehicles and autonomous smart tractors, and they provide the essential magnetic force for flight control actuators and radar systems in the F-35 Lightning II. But the name is a lie. Rare earth elements are not actually rare in the Earth's crust. Take cerium, for instance. It is the 25th most abundant element on the planet, making it more common than copper or lead. The global crisis surrounding these metals has nothing to do with the scarcity of dirt. It is a crisis of processing. Lanthanide contraction defines the atomic behavior of these 17 elements. Moving across this row of the periodic table, their atomic radii remain nearly identical. Therefore, these elements refuse to form pure metal nuggets. Instead, they lock arms and clump together. They hide inside dense, complex mineral structures, like bastnasite and monazite. To rip these atoms apart, engineers must put the rock through hundreds of stages of acid soaking, liquid-liquid solvent extraction. This metallurgical process is toxic, tedious, and expensive. Whoever is willing to master and endure it ultimately controls the supply chains of the high-tech future. To see what that mastery looks like in practice, we have to look at Inner Mongolia. This is the Bayan Obo deposit, the undisputed world capital of rare earths. The volume excavated out of this single location is staggering. It holds over 40% of all proven global rare earth reserves on Earth. This chart shows the collapse of Western production against the rapid scaling of Chinese processing capacity. While the United States led global production through the Mountain Pass mine in California in the 1990s, Chinese state planners subsidized environmental and financial costs to undercut Western mines. They built industrial hubs in places like Baotou to handle the massive amounts of toxic chemical runoff generated during the separation process. China secured a monopoly that spans the entire value chain. They currently control over 90% of the world's chemical separation capacity and permanent metallic magnet manufacturing. This makes Western mining independence an illusion. Digging dirt out of the ground in California or Australia is ineffective if the raw concentrate must still be shipped to China to be turned into a usable magnet. That processing bottleneck eventually became a geopolitical tool. In 2010, during a territorial dispute over the Senkaku Islands, shown here, China restricted rare earth exports to Japan. The embargo sent shockwaves through the market, with global prices for rare earth oxides climbing by over 500% almost overnight. More recently, the bottleneck has tightened. In December 2023, Beijing officially banned the export of rare earth extraction and separation technologies, stopping Western firms from buying the hardware needed to process their own minerals. Then, in April 2025, the Ministry of Commerce placed direct export controls on critical heavy rare earths, specifically targeting temperature-resistant elements like dysprosium and terbium. By requiring dual-use permits for overseas shipments, this licensing system acts as a targeted chokehold. It allows state inspectors to restrict the exact materials vital for Western defense contractors. To bypass this monopoly, allied nations are spending billions to reshore physical processing hubs in places like Texas and Western Australia, attempting to keep the entire supply chain on allied soil. They are also scaling up the secondary market by extracting and recycling permanent magnets from old electric vehicles and decommissioned wind turbines. A crucial counterattack is grain boundary diffusion technology. Instead of mixing heavy rare earths throughout, engineers spray a thin layer of dysprosium only onto the outer edges of microscopic grains. This cuts dysprosium use by 80% while maintaining performance inside hot military hardware. Even with these innovations, opening a new mine and mastering complex hydrometallurgical refining typically takes 10 to 15 years from discovery to full commercial operation. Until these new independent supply chains mature and refineries reach full capacity, the geopolitical balance of power will remain tied to the microscopic quirks of rare earth chemistry.